Name's Dave and welcome to MojoPlays. Today we're looking at the video game choices that didn't matter at all. Thanks. So, fair warning, there's plenty of spoilers ahead.
We've got enough clout right now for one major bill, not both. What do you want me to push forward? Do you want to be the president who cured cancer or the president who solved world hunger?
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Different paths from The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim.
What's wrong with him, huh?
Watch your tongue. You're speaking to Ulfric Stormcloak, the true High King.
In a bid to escape the dragon, you have the choice to follow either Hadvor, an Imperial soldier, or Ralof, a Stormcloak prisoner, in order to escape. This is a pretty bland way of introducing the main factions, but story-wise, almost nothing changes. You don't even get locked into which allegiance you choose early on. The major difference is what low-level armor you acquire, with Ralof providing you with superior armor and smaller weapons, but Hadvor giving you standard armor but bigger two-handed weapons. It really just depends on your playstyle, but you'll be switching out your armor and weapons constantly anyway, so pointless.
Alright, get that armor on, and give that axe a few swings. I'm going to see if I can find some way out of here.
Dropping Hannah or letting go, until dawn. Until Dawn prides itself on many alternate routes and endings, all determined by player choice. But the first major choice the player gets their hands on doesn't actually affect anything at all. When Hannah rushes out into the snow, her twin sister Beth follows, and after a frightening encounter in the woods, they end up hanging from a cliff. The player controls Beth, who has one hand on the ledge and the other holding Hannah. You have to choose whether to let Hannah fall so Beth can save herself, or letting go of the edge, so they fall together. The only problem? Well, both twins will fall no matter what, because this is necessary to set the entire game's story in motion. The water thief or the soldier?
The soldier on the left was sent to apprehend him, which he did, killing the man's family in the process.
In the grim ruins of Dubai, Captain Walker is faced with a difficult choice, given to him by the player's antagonist, Joseph Conrad, all to show just how cruel this man is. Conrad tells Walker that he has to choose to kill either a civilian who stole some water, which isn't something to be overlooked in the middle of the desert, or the soldier who killed the civilian's whole family when he was sent to arrest him. No matter what you choose, a squad of snipers under Conrad's command will shoot the other, and if you refuse or shoot the snipers yourself, you'll be gunned down. To make matters even more meaningless, when the game's final twist reveals that Walker has been hallucinating the entire thing, it turns out the snipers didn't exist, and both men were already dead. Wow, thanks.
What the hell happened? I don't know, he just stopped moving. Walker, snap out of it.
The bird or the cage? BioShock Infinite.
Mr. DeWitt, here.
Bird.
Or the cage.
Or perhaps the bird.
Nothing beats the cage.
These two again. How do you... Never mind.
Like the original BioShock, BioShock Infinite is all about the illusion of choice and predetermined outcomes. But even in a narrative like that, the pointlessness of this decision is kind of annoying. During a brief respite where Booker and Elizabeth are able to explore Columbia at their leisure, the Latesse twins present Elizabeth with a choice between two brooches, the bird or the cage. While the imagery is thematically significant, Elizabeth is locked in the cage on Monument Island and guarded by the ferocious songbird, this choice changes absolutely nothing, except what brooch Elizabeth's character model wears.
Surprising. I expected the cage.
If you're going to be a sore loser, then I shan't do this again.
Now that's just sophistry.
Leave the bat behind. Batman Arkham City.
It's not like he'll die. It's Batman, right?
The Catwoman DLCs were a nice addition to Batman Arkham City, giving us another perspective on the game's story, as well as plenty of gameplay variety. But was there any need for this Fox choice? Selina has to choose between rescuing an unconscious Batman or taking off with her stolen goods, and the player is asked to decide. If you choose to get the hell out of Dodge, the game will rewind itself back to this crucial decision-making moment. You know, Selina Kyle might be a morally grey character, but it's hard to imagine even her ever leaving Batman for dead, even if the game did allow you.
Screw him.
Anderson or Udina, the Mass Effect series.
We may have a spot on the council, but humanity will always be considered second-rate.
The Mass Effect series has presented players with innumerable interesting choices. Do you save Ashley or Kaidan? Do you kill the Rachni? Do you finally cure the genophage? But there's a handful of bum options too, not including that infamous ending to Mass Effect 3. At the conclusion of the first game, you have to choose who you want to represent mankind on the Citadel Council, Captain Anderson or Ambassador Udina. If you decide Anderson is the best fit to help the galaxy unite against the Reapers, since Udina is an annoying prick, that's too bad because he goes and quits after the second game and leaves Udina to follow in his footsteps regardless. I mean, sure, Anderson had to build up the resistance on Earth, and Udina ended up betraying the rest of the council throughout the game, but come on.
We have the strength to overcome any challenge. When the Reapers come, we must stand side by side.
The Pure Blood Test, Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Findest du nicht auch, Bobby?
Ja, mir gefallen seine Augen.
Bitte, setzen Sie sich.
At the game's climactic moment, BJ is forced to choose which of his allies will live and which will die, and a choice has repercussions all the way into the sequel. This is not that. While undercover on a train heading to the heart of Berlin, BJ finds himself face to face with one of the major villains, the sadistic Frau Ngao. Apparently suspicious of BJ, she makes him sit down with them, and presents him with some playing cards he has to choose between to prove he's a real Nazi. The catch is that no matter what you pick, you'll always pass the test. Of course, you can also choose to pick the gun, but that results in instant death.
Wenn Sie nach der Waffe greifen sollten, sind Sie tot. Noch bevor Sie Ihre Entscheidung bereuen.
Leave or kill Clementine. The Walking Dead, the final season.
Can't give up. You can't give up. I need you.
The first season of Telltale's critically acclaimed The Walking Dead ended with the choice to let Lee turn into a walker or have Clementine kill him, so he doesn't have to suffer. Like other choices in The Walking Dead, this doesn't have much of an effect on the game's narrative as a whole. After all, Lee will die no matter what Clementine does. But in an effort to recapture this moment, the same twist was used in the final ever episode, where Clementine is bitten and AJ has to make the same call. Do you kill Clem or let her turn? But no matter what you pick, AJ will chop off Clementine's leg, and the screen cuts to black. Well, that's it, you killed her. Psych, no you didn't, you actually saved her life. Because all AJ did was cut off her leg, meaning that the series had a happy ending. Well, sort of.
Whoa, easy there.
Refusing to join Blade, Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Of course, and I would never force or coerce anyone.
Never force or coerce anyone? Get real. You know, sometimes you want to take a step back and think through your options carefully, and maybe decline an opportunity if you're not feeling it, especially seeing as it's very life-threatening. Unfortunately, this game won't take no for an answer, regardless of how many times you select it. No, I meant no. While it's clear to see why you're forced to join Blade because otherwise you won't be able to play the actual game, it's bizarre that they present it to the player as an actual choice, especially saying that it's voluntary. Isn't buying the game enough of a clue that you probably want to join an elite Blade team? Why even bother pretending you can refuse it? Screw your guilt trip, Nagi.
I'm just saying you'd have to be some kind of an idiot not to want to join Blade. Or maybe a crazy person.
Confronting Ramsay Bolton, Telltale's Game of Thrones.
Look at this, little Forrester. You're not frightened, are you?
Working within the existing Game of Thrones canon meant that Telltale didn't have an awful lot of freedom with established characters. This means that when Ramsay Bolton shows up, you know you probably won't be able to defeat him in any meaningful way. He's trying to claim the Forrester estate for himself after the death of the player's character, Ethan's father. Unfortunately, no matter how diplomatic or rational you try to be, you can't escape the hands of this monster, and Ethan is murdered either way, by being stabbed through the neck.
Aren't you the brave Lord?
What have you done?
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos straight away.